What if I told you you could take great concert photos with a DSLR camera that costs less than $150 and that's complete with lens? And I'm talking name brands, one a Canon and one a Nikon. Are you interested? And oh yeah, it's going to get a little noisy at first because we're filming the start of this video at a concert where we're demonstrating what we're doing.
See, I told you you could do it. So watch this video to see which cameras I'm talking about and to see exactly what they're like. You'll be given specs and actual examples in this video.
Okay, tonight we're going to do a concert photo shoot with two cameras that you can get for under $150, both of them with lens. So tonight I've got Canon Rebel XTi with its 18 to 55 kit lens, and then the other camera is a Nikon D70S. It's got an 18 to 70. This camera here you can buy used for under 40 bucks. I've seen it online lately, and this camera about the same thing. So we're going to give it a shot and see what happens.
The first camera we're going to look at is the Canon Rebel XTi, and it can be commonly had for anywhere from $150 to $200. This camera was produced somewhere around 2005, 2006, and it's got 10 megapixels and an ISO range of 100 to 1600 ISO. The camera's shutter speeds are somewhere between 30 seconds to 1/4000th of a second, and it will fire 3 frames per second and 27 frames in JPEG. The camera does have manual, program, shutter priority, and aperture priority. It has center weighted, matrix, but it does not have spot metering. Canon calls the metering evaluative, partial, and center weighted average. Those are its metering modes. The camera is a crop sensor camera, so you need to be aware of that. It does have some different focusing modes: one shot, predictive AI servo, automatic switching, and manual focus. These shots are from last night's show of Junior Boy Jones. It's not too bad for a 17, 18-year-old camera. There is a little noise. The maximum ISO is 1600, so I had it cranked all the way up to 1600. But all in all, I think it did a pretty good job, and it's more than acceptable, and it's under $150. The next camera is the Nikon D70S. It is also a crop sensor, and it's not quite the entry level, but it is close. The camera is a 6 megapixel crop sensor camera. It's produced in 2005. It's got an ISO rating from 200 to 1600. It has a maximum shutter speed of 8000, and it's also got shutter priority, program, aperture priority, and full manual, and will shoot in RAW also. It is a CCD sensor. The camera does have center weighted, matrix, and spot metering, as well as continuous autofocus and single servo. It also has manual focus. Here are some examples out of this 17 to 18-year-old camera. It's not too bad for a crop sensor Nikon that's been pretty well used, and you can get the whole camera with the lens for somewhere around $140. So it's quite a buy. The first great myth is one camera brand is better than another. It's more like which camera versus which camera is better. There are some differences, and there is differences between brands, but just about any brand will work. Even a 6 megapixel Nikon camera will do the job. Here's proof. Just see the picture to the right on this slide. The next great myth is you have to have a full frame camera. APC will not work. Wrong. Yes, it will. APC will work just fine. The photo on this slide was taken with an 18-year-old entry-level Canon DSLR, which is a crop sensor with a crop of 1.6. Another great myth is you have to have a very fast lens. You have to have 2.8, 1.8. This is not true either. In this case, you will see the kit lens works just fine. See the photo on the right. This came out of an 18-year-old camera with the kit lens installed on it.
So what's the point? You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get into concert photography. There's no need. Does Pro Gear make the difference? Pro Gear does make a big difference. Not only in quality, in print factors, it makes a difference in reliability, durability. It's just better equipment, and more expensive equipment generally produces better photographs. When purchasing used gear, we highly recommend that you buy the gear from a reputable dealer. Somebody that has a shop. It can be online, places like that. We buy a lot of used gear from people, and it's generally done through dealers in New York. Also, if you can get an extended warranty, if it's affordable from those dealers, we bought cameras and lenses with and put 2-3 year warranties on them in case they do fail. If they do fail, well, we're covered, and if we have a problem, we can go back to those dealers that are reputable. When it gets down to it, yes, gear does make a difference, but you can get away with not having as much gear. It comes down to the pilot in the box, the knowledge, the skill, the technique, and the style of that particular photographer as to the results that you come up with. And you can get pretty good and pretty decent results if you know what you're doing. There's nothing worse than spending a whole lot of money on something to find out it's more difficult than you thought, you just didn't like it, there's other issues, you overextend yourself. So just remember, photography is not easy. It does take skill and effort and work, and it comes down to you majority over the equipment that you use. Okay, we got a few people we'd like to give thanks out to. The first thing we'd like to do is thank Buddy Magazine, the original Texas music magazine. If you have not read or got a copy of Buddy Magazine, go out and look for it. It tells you a lot about Texas music. The next people we'd like to thank is the City of Garland Parks and Recreation Department and Mayor Scott LeMay. You guys rock, man. You throw a great party out there. There's these music shows that you have all over town are amazing. They're sponsored for the Sounds of Summer is Veritex Bank in Garland, and we'd like to thank them. And we'd also like to thank Jimmy Wallace Guitars. If you've not been to Jimmy Wallace Guitars in Garland, Texas, you're missing out. It's a great place. Go check them out. Also, last but not least, we'd like to thank Andrew Junior Boy Jones for his participation in letting us take some photographs of him last night or the night before last, and we deeply appreciate it. Thanks again. We'll see you either next week or a week after. And don't forget, please like and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. We appreciate y'all. Have a good Father's Day. Bye-bye.